Jesus came and he restored the order of the correct priesthood. As it says in 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9, that we are a royal priesthood. We are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. Every Christian, the day you received Christ, you have become a king and you have become a priest. So every child of God is a king and he's a priest. Yes, but just like it was in the Old Testament, priests and the Levites, there was in a certain age that they had to reach before they started to do the work of priesthood. And so also today, for today we obviously don't have a age limit, but there's a time of God for a priest. As you are a child of God, you are a priest and you are a king, but there's a time for you to enter service. Back in the Old Testament, there was an age of, I think it was 20 years or 25 years. I think it was between 20 and 50 years that a Levite or a priest was allowed to serve in the temple. See, but also for us today, as much as we are all priests, we are all kings and we are all priests, God in his grace and his sovereignty has chosen and has appointed a time for each and every child of God to enter into service. This now depends on what kind of service it is that God has appointed for you, and especially now for the five what we know as the fivefold ministries. Yes, according to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, and the teachers. Yes, so now these are the ones that have been given a responsibility. According to Ephesians chapter 4 verse 11 and 12, they've been given the responsibility to equip God's children for the works of service or ministry. Yes, and for us, it doesn't really have to do with age. It has to do with God's timing. And God can choose even a 15-year-old that your time to enter into the priesthood service is now. See, what Paul says, that do not allow a young or novice or immature or a new believer to be a bishop or overseer of the church. He's talking about a person who's in the Lord, in his relationship with God, who's young in the Lord, not necessarily age, because there are young pastors, 20-year-old men of God, and he's way more mature than a 50-year-old pastor who's been in ministry for 20 years. So now, as we are all priests, there is now a time of God that comes for you to enter into service. And this is now where the problem comes in.